Alright, so here's a sample program about how to create commands in a program that you've written. So this is the class called doubling, and what it contains is the main method that we know that runs when we start up our program, and we also, outside of that method and inside the class itself, we have our doublet method that we saw in the lesson before. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have the user input a number just like I normally would inside my main method, and then I'm going to call the doublet method. So doublet is going to be passed the number that was input. I don't have to put anything in front of this because I'm not running this with any particular variable or object or anything else. It's just going to be run on its own. So what that's going to do is it's going to call the doublet method, and the value inside of number is going to be passed to the value called x. So if this was input at 4, that 4 is now going to be sent to here, so x will now equal 4. I'll then run the code, so int y equals, in this case, 4 plus 4, and output it to the screen. Once this is finished, it'll go back to my main method. Since there's no more code in my main method, the program will end. So if we compile this and run it, and I enter a number to be doubled, I say 4, it's going to give me the number 8, and I'm finished. You could also go here and run my program and say double it again. If I do that, what do you think the output is going to be? So here we go. I'm going to enter the number 4. The output will be 8 again. Why not 16? Why wasn't this value doubled again? Well, the answer to that is here. I took number and I sent it to this variable, and then it was stored as a new variable inside this method called x. It doubled that value, and that was it, printed it. It was never sent back to my main method to be changed. So when I sent it the second time, that number value still had the same value as it had originally, so it was 4 again being doubled and printed again. What happens if I do this? Now what's my output going to be? Again, 8. So even though this has the same variable name, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in this method stays in this method, unless I return it back out. So even though it was sent to a new variable still called number, it doesn't matter. And I could do this too, where I make my variable here called number, number, and number. And again, this still won't change the value of my number in my original main method, because each method is run on its own outside of anything else that's going on in the program. So what happens inside here only exists inside here. This is in fact a brand new variable. So I can have two variables with the same name. You need to be careful because sometimes that can confuse you if you have the same name in two different places. And that's because this is declared inside this method, so it only exists inside this method. This one is declared inside this method, so it only exists inside that method. That's it for the lesson, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.